Hello and welcome back to another year in our garden. We've had quite a wet winter up to now. We've been underwater a few times and the garden has been wet, but it is drying out slowly. But we'll come to that on another day. We've had a bit of a rough time this year with the problems with the tree roots in the tank and all sorts, but we've got over everything and now's the time to put some seed in. Now I'm really only going to go for onions, sweet peppers and a few tomatoes. The other thing for this season is that we haven't got a greenhouse at the top no more. I've taken it down. It was ready. It was I daren't hang a hanging basket in it no more, so I thought the best thing to do was take it down. So I've got an aluminium frame to put up, but obviously in this weather we can't do a lot until we get a bit warmer, and then I'll start building it. But in the meantime, let's get some seeds in. Now before we set the seed, I've actually mixed the compost we're going to use. I've used 2 parts seed and cutting compost and 1 part vermiculite. And I've mixed it well. It was slightly damp, so I haven't wet it yet. And I've half filled the fruit trays ready for setting the seed. And what we'll do is we'll just let this compost warm up, and it gives you a chance to make sure everything's working, the heater's working, etc., which it is. I've already checked it. Now these are the trays we're using, same as last year. They're those fruit trays from the supermarkets. They're just right. They've got plenty of drainage holes in it. They're nice and thin. And then when you finish with them, or you get 1 or 2 splits in them, you just put them in the recycle, so they're good. Let's put 2 out to start with and have a look what we're going to set. These are the onions we're going to put in. This one's Santerio. We've grown that one before, it was quite successful. And this one is Stir-On, which is new to us. We'll see how we go on with that. And of course the Red Baron, that sometimes is good, sometimes it runs to seed, but let's hope we have a good run this year. What I'm going to do is just set a few of each one depending on how many seed we've got in. It doesn't say on this one, but we don't want to start too many at once. I'd sooner do it in 2 batches, so it gives me a little time to get them potted up, etc. afterwards. The propagator is on. You saw us putting it on. The compost is warm through nicely. When I put the vermiculite on top, I have some water that is tepid ready to go on top of that, and then we'll put the labels on and put them back into the propagator. Usually black seed onion, yeah, look, there's quite a few in there actually, but we'll do. You'll not be able to see them a lot as they fall in, but I'll tap them in. You might be able to see a few come out. There they go, look. We do 3 rows to a tray, I think. Up that side, down the middle. Usually they scatter everywhere anyway, and then 1 up here as well. And that'll do for the start. We'll seal that off as well, look, and then we'll put it back in its packet, and then your seeds don't get mixed up then, because an onion seed is the same for all varieties. We just get the vermiculite now, just to put a little bit on top, and then a little bit that way, all round. About just under 1/4 inch is plenty. But if you use this, you tip it one side to the other, you can get in all the corners as well. There you go. Just level it with the leveling tool. Everybody's got one. Here we go. And then all I'm going to do is, this is tepid, so it's no shock to the seed. I was putting them in the prop to warm the compost, and then putting cold water on them is not very good. Don't drown them. Just want to do it so it holds that vermiculite down, because the compost is quite damp anyway. If your compost is very, very dry, do wet it first, obviously. And that will do. We'll have a label. It's not Red Baron. Stir them. I'm using the short labels instead of the big ones so we can get the lid on. And that'll do nicely. And they'll go into the prop. And warm through nicely. Let's do another one then. We'll do this Santerio. Right. Now these are, I can tell you, coated seeds. So let me show you some in my hand. They've got like a clay coating on them. Can you see? And that makes planting them a lot easier. And if you drop one, you can see it to pick it up. Same again then, leveling tool first. That's alright. Now obviously if you're buying pelleted seeds, it's a little bit more expensive. All these seeds we got at the end of the season sales last year. So most of them were £1 a packet, so we really did get quite a bit of seed. But actually I'm putting in pelleted seed that we actually paid £1 a packet, but I think you'll find it's normally a lot more money than that. I think for now that's enough to start us off. I seal the bake down because obviously with it being pelleted, they used to be clay. I don't know what they are now, but if it's covered in clay, if it's a clay coating, it'll obviously attract the moisture. So if your seed packet is a bit open and gets a bit damp, the clay will probably swell up a bit. I do hope Mother Nature's going to be kind with us this year so we can get some decent crops, because the way things are in the world, we really need to push these gardens now and fill them up. That's not so bad. Leveling tool then. There you go. I shouldn't have tapped it then. Never mind. Spray it off. Just gently spray. If you spray too hard onto the vermiculite, you'll blow it all over the place. But a good medium sort of wetting. You don't need to wet them through, because I say your compost is moist and your seeds will soon pick the moisture out of the compost and hopefully be growing. Put a label in then. This is Santerio. In you go. And that goes in there. I'll do the Red Baron, and that's the 3 globe onions started, and then I'll come back and show you the next thing we're going to put in. Now the next 3 planters we're going to do are bullhorn peppers. Now, we didn't grow bullhorn last year, so we didn't save any seed, so we'll have to set new seed. We've got what was left of last year's sweet pepper yellow bell. I like those, they always do rather well. And this one is a tomato called Honey Bee. Now, we had to look it up to see what it's a yellow tomato, and it's a packet that Gemma gave us, and I do believe she's had it in her cupboard for a while because it's a little out of date. We'll plant these honeybee to see if we can get them up. We don't know, they're very out of date, but we'll have a go. I just put the leveler in first. Now they look alright, the seed, they're not stuck together, so we'll put them in and see what happens. Mind you, we've bought new seed before and it hasn't germinated, so we'll see how these old seeds germinate. There's only 40 in the packet, so I'm going to put them all in this tray. Just in case. That's it. Now, if and when they do germinate, I'll give Gemma 2 or 3 of the plants, and the other one we'll keep. So, same again. Look. I don't skimp with the vermiculite because it'll actually keep the plants warmer as well, and it as you know, it holds the moisture, and if you put a good just under 1/4 of an inch on, they're easier to actually get the plants out. A little bit of water then. Now we'll put the honeybees in the propagator. Now, while the seeds are actually in the propagator, they're actually not coming up, so I shall put the water in there with them, so when I start misting and spraying the tops, it's the same temperature as the vermiculite and compost. Right, I've only got the bullhorn and the yellow bell to put in. So I'm going to put these in and get them in the prop, and then I'll talk to you about some potatoes I'm going to put in. I'll just show you how the potatoes are doing. We've got a few earlies down for sprutting. These are sprutting nicely, quite happy with those. Now, these were the swift potatoes we actually bought in the autumn for planting for Christmas, but they didn't sprut at all, so I decided to leave them on the side, and as you can see, they're sprutting nicely. In fact, they're sprutting very, very well. So what I'm going to do, we've got some potato bags that we bought a few years ago, and I've half filled them with compost and a little bit of our own garden compost as well, mixed it together, and I'm going to put these, I'm going to actually put 6 in each bag, because surprisingly the bags are quite big. So that's what I'll do with these, and then I'll keep them. I can actually keep them in the shed until they break the surface, and then take them down to the greenhouse. So we'll get those in maybe this afternoon, and we'll show you them in the shed or in the greenhouse. If they're in the shed, they won't be up, and if they're greenhouse, but the looks of these, they'll be up in no time at all. Now I'll just put the cover back on this prop, It is actually warming up nicely. I'm quite pleased with it. And they don't use a lot of electricity because it's switching on and off, on and off. It has a thermostat. I think the other one doesn't have a thermostat, so it might use a little bit more, but it's still very, very small amount. So, and I should just close the vents. I don't need the light on them yet until they start showing through, and then we'll give them 8 hours of light a day, because remember, especially onions, you don't want to give them 12 hours just to start shutting down. Now that'll be it for now. Pleased to be back with you. It's been a long winter. Next time we'll finish off putting some more of the seeds in, and I think I have a few odds and ends of tomatoes that I just want to put in and see if they're viable really, and then if they are, we'll plant those outside. The other thing, I've got some sweet peppers. They're up at the house actually. They're seed that we kept, so I also need to test some of those to see if they're viable as well, and take you for a walk down the garden. See you again soon. Take care everyone. Bye now.